Radio. Rahim with Don Charles. Familiar surroundings, Don. I was just talking about the old pug. Well, it's not the old pug. It's the original plug.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, I've come to that gym. I've been at the gym before that.
Correct.
I've watched you build this empire. And it's an empire now because you sit atop the throne as king. There are so many fighters that I encounter that when they talk about you, they speak with a different reverence. It's not just like, oh, you're just any other trainer. You bring an atmosphere and a community to the sport. Before we get into the imminent fight ahead of us, I just want to touch a little bit on the mountain that you've built to be atop of right now. The journey to this moment. It's undisputed, Don.
Yeah, unbelievable. I'm still trying to digest it. The word undisputed. Never in my. I'm a dreamer, right? We all dream, but I'm a dreamer, a good dreamer, and it was this is beyond my dreams. To put it quite simply, it's beyond my dreams.
Mm-hmm. You say you're a dreamer. When you first took up boxing, it wasn't like you were a boxing coach that grew up under a father who was a boxing coach, or a fighter who was your dad, or you found your way to the sport. When you first dreamed of what was possible or imagined what you would be, what did it look like then?
It looked like I just wanted to be a participant. I wanted to, the great late Muhammad Ali, once I saw him of the fight, the Rumble in the Jungle, the great late George Foreman, I decided this is what I wanted to do. But how do you get into it? I didn't know. It took many, many years of always keeping a keen interest to participate. And eventually I found my way into being an amateur boxer. And again, when I did it, there was no plans or to do it as a living. You know, never. I just wanted to participate, you know, because it's a sport that football was my first love, to play football. And then I just there's something in me that just, something that lurks in every man, including yourself, the young man behind the camera. If the truth be told, every man, there's a fighter lurking in every man. So I was able to live it in the capacity of an amateur fighter. And then, like I said, when I finished my amateur career, again, I had no intentions of doing it for a living. And then I missed it so much when I stopped fighting. It was a good 10, 12 years. I didn't have anything to do with boxing. Then I thought, wow, I really miss it. What can I do boxing related? I thought, let me try my hand at coaching. How do you become a coach? I had no idea, because there are no institutes where you can go and learn how to become a boxing coach. I think if you went around the country interviewing most coaches, unless they've boxed as a professional, then sometimes the natural transition is to become a coach. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I would say 8 out of 10 will tell you they're self-taught. There are no institutions, academies. And that's one of the things I want to pilot when I get to my destination.
You say in every man is a warrior, which means that every man is a fighter. Mm-hmm. But you, in the professional ranks, with the dreams that you have to accomplish, you just can't take every fighter who comes through the door. How do you know, or what do you see in a man that lets you know this is an exceptional fighter? This is a warrior who can compete at the level of boxing that I coach.
Well, it's something, again, it's instinctive, something you develop. You just know by let's say physical makeup, the rhythm when somebody walks. I'm an ex-dancer. That's one of the other things that I did in my younger days. I'm a trained dancer. I did contemporary jazz, and my old teacher, my dance teacher, I've started to sound like him, because he said exactly the same question he just asked me. He said, just by watching somebody walk, he can tell whether he can teach them or not teach them. Yeah. Wow. We walk, human beings, we walk in rhythm. Some better than others.
I've never heard that before.
So I can look at the way someone is standing, and I can tell you about that person's mechanics, their movements. Just from that, and then when they start walking, it becomes apparent. Can this person be trained? Because you can't train everybody into becoming what you or them expect to become in any sector, in any field. Could be a footballer, could be a basketball player.
Right.
You look at their rhythm.
When Daniel walked in the gym for the first time, now you'd seen him fight,
I've seen
obviously,
him before, yeah.
But at the moment you took him on was the lowest point of his career. I mean, he was being doubted by critics and colleagues alike. They were calling him a quitter. They were doubting whether or not he had what it took to even compete at the upper echelon. Forget about world champion. Can this guy even mix it up? Or is he just going to take the knee and give in when it gets rough? So that's a tough choice for a coach to make. What did you see in him at that stage when it would have been easy for anybody to pass that said this, I'm taking this guy on?
Where do I start? I've been being a heavyweight specialist. I pride myself as a heavyweight specialist, and it's my duty to know and be aware of every heavyweight that's coming in or established. I first came into to knowing who Daniel Dubois is. There was a big talk about him. I kept hearing the name, this young man coming through in the amateur ranks, Daniel Dubois. Then one day I got a call from a colleague of mine saying he wanted to bring this young man, Daniel Dubois. I said, I've heard of him, to spar Derek Chisora. I said, are you sure? Because he was only 17 at the time. He said, oh no, definitely. I said, it was almost like I was doing the guy a favor because I hadn't seen the kid fight as an amateur, nothing. And then he brought Daniel with his father, in fact, Stanley. They came to I had my gym in Mill Hill at the time. And so basically they walked into my gym. I saw Daniel from the back first because I was busy doing something. When I turned around, they were in the gym. I saw Daniel from the back. I thought, I'm looking for the sparring partner because I saw a back that was like, he had his tracksuit on. Yeah. And he turned around. I saw him from behind. He looked like a fully grown man. He had his tracksuit on. He had this V back, shoulders. I thought that must be the sparring partner. So when he turned around to greet me with his father, I thought, and I asked my colleague who brought him, where's the sparring? He said, baby face, because he's only 17. I thought, what? Yeah, okay. The bell rang, and I was going to use him like you should do. Yeah, it wasn't meant the main sparring partner that day. He was just making up the rounds. I gave him 2 rounds, I believe. Derek was doing a 10-round that day sparring. So I gave Daniel the last 2 rounds. And in that last 2 rounds, he showed me something like his fundamentals was just immaculate. I thought, okay, interesting. Fast forward, I got another call that can they come the following week. This time I gave him 4 rounds. And he demonstrated, after the second round, I believe it was, I had to say to Derek, I know we're supposed to be carrying this kid, which you're supposed to. He's only 17. Derek was preparing to fight Tyson Fury for the second time.
Okay.
So I said, Derek, we're not here to babysit, because based on what Daniel was doing, I said, you need to change the gears and up it. Don't let this kid come here and take liberties, basically.
Yeah.
I said, Derek he had to up it. And it was a very good spar. From that day onwards, I thought, that's the future right there.
Wow.
That was there. Okay, he was 17.
Right.
I didn't start working with Daniel till 9 years later.
Wow.
Yeah, so he went away.
Yeah.
Little did I know, because I thought, okay, it's going to take about 5 years, let him go to the next games. In fact, I advised his father, I said, let him go and win, because this kid's he's got gold medal written all over him when I saw him, based on what I saw. Mm-hmm. So he could go to any of the games, whether it's Commonwealth, Olympic, he would have definitely he would have medaled and probably got gold. So fast forward, and then I realized he turned pro shortly after he came to me, I think he turned professionally, but at late 17 or 18 years old, Frank Warren signed him up. Okay. And then I started hearing him and seeing what the demolition job he was doing. He was knocking everyone out on his way up. And so when fast forward, I'm his fourth professional boxing coach. So he's had 3 previous coaches before. I use the word inherited because that's what happened. Inherited means this is the first ready-made fighter that I'd gotten to work with in my 25-year career. The first ready-made. When I say ready-made, he was at a very, very good level in terms of his achievements, his record, his achievements. He was the current. He had the WBA regular.
Okay.
When I got him. So that's the most established fighter that I've ever inherited since I've been doing this. And when I got him, I thought, wow, I never dreamt that I'd get to work with him. Okay? And then when I got him, I thought, wow. So all the experience I'd gotten, and remember, I'm a heavyweight specialist.
Right.
I've got myself a fine heavyweight here where all those, because I'm an ex-dancer, so I'm a choreographer, right? Okay?
Right.
But set pieces, it's all about set pieces. You have your open play, but set pieces. I'm able to mold this kid to bolt on because he came with fundamentals that are very, very good. It was refreshing for me to then bolt on what I've bolted onto him to make him the type of fighter he has become today.
You say he was a ready-made fighter.
Yeah.
But when you got him, he wasn't winning. He was struggling. You know, he was in need of something, which is why he was changing.
Well, yeah,
coaches.
he needed to put more layers onto, because the level he's now operating at, he needed to change to be able to achieve.
So as a fighter, and I think 4 trainers at Daniel's age is a lot more than you could say that. Encounter. Does each coach put something in the mix, and you say we're keeping that, and we're keeping that, and we're keeping that? Meanwhile, fighters are competitive. Trainers are competitive too. Do you speak to past coaches? Is there a camaraderie there as you develop a fighter through?
We don't. When I speak to the previous coaches who previously trained Daniel, we don't talk boxing where we just talk as friends because I know them. They're my colleagues, but we'll never discuss Daniel. They'll ask me, how's Daniel doing? I will always acknowledge and say he's doing very well. We don't talk Daniel or tactics or anything like that, you know. So I've always, in previous interviews, I've always acknowledged the previous coaches. They're all very good coaches. They're all doing very well with their fighters that they train. But the respect is there, and they've done. I look at it as a relay. I've also said this in previous interviews. This how I look at the Daniel Dubois situation is like a 4x4 relay. They've all run relatively good they run good legs to hand me the baton. And coincidentally, when I was running for my school, representing my school in athletics, I always run the last leg, and I'm very good at finishing. I really am. Yeah. So I've now. Well, the baton was handed over to me the first Usyk fight. When I first inherited Daniel, our first fight, we were thrusted with a daunting task of fighting Oleksandr Usyk, who's now become undisputed.
And so, as you take that baton, he's not a favorite in the Usyk fight, the first one. And it's the only fight that you weren't successful at. However, of course, we won't
controversy, but we won't talk about it. It's gone.
And you're an emotional guy. That what you have said. You've gotten after pundits who picked against Daniel, and former fighters you've trained who picked against Daniel. Does it bother you when his former trainers, like I spoke to Shane McGuigan after the fight in New York? And he's picking Daniel to start fast, win the first couple of rounds, and then Usyk just takes over and demolishes him. Like, does that bother you?
So Shane said that?
Yeah.
Well, I'm disappointed because I would never. Everyone is entitled to their opinion, of course, but to actually break it down that what he believes is going to transpire, I have to disagree. I'm the one who's currently training him, and I know what our game plan is. And Daniel, the previous results that we've gotten in the last 18 months, we've always been written off. Daniel's always been written off, and we've keep proving people wrong, and we're about to prove them wrong again.
Yet again, you're going into a fight where you're the underdog. Has there been a fight yet where Daniel's been the favorite?
No.
No, every time.
Yeah.
And the stakes keep getting
But
higher.
it's fine. We love it. We love being the underdog because we feel from that. Love it. When all my career, let me talk about me for a minute. All my career, I'm not the fancied guy. Mm-hmm. People like living in denial. And like I keep saying, accept the truth because the truth will always set you free.
Yes. And it is hard for some people to handle the truth.
Correct.
This is an interesting pivot because the last time Daniel fought, it was Anthony Joshua. And all the pundits and all the fighters, everybody was picking Joshua. Big right hand. Nothing Daniel can be able to do with him. Good luck, kid. The king is back. Joshua's taking the throne.
It was the best version of Joshua that they've reinvented, apparently.
Right. And so after the fight, you got after the pundits.
I did.
You got after them.
I was a very angry man after the fight because the lead up to the fight almost. I'm a very confident person. I'm a very strong character. I know who I am, but I was really pushed. Every human being has a breaking point. I really believe I probably needed help because I was that emotionally involved with it. And also, you can't help because of the world we live in today, because of the internet. I make it try my hardest not to go on social media, which I don't. I'm on it, but I'm not active on it. But you can't help and people tell you things. So-and-so said this, so-and-so. And I'm only a human being. And the way we were written off, and after, am I losing it or something? Am I delusional? And I'm only a human because everyone keeps telling you, you're not going to do it, you're not going to do it, you're not. There comes a time where you start to maybe I'm delusional. Maybe they know something I don't know. Maybe what I'm thinking or seeing is not what's actually happening. Then I go to bed or try and sleep. You struggle with that. I struggle with it. I'm fighting. So imagine fighting off, warding off the energy, because I'm a strong believer in energy. Human beings, we produce energy. What we say goes out into the universe. It's like radio waves. Yeah, it's like radio waves, the television, when you was little, I think we all did it. You were always fascinated by the radio, like where the voice is coming from. Yeah. Back home in Africa, we used to have these big radios. We used to go behind the big radio to look at for the people that are speaking in it.
That's funny.
So, but man designed the radio waves, how it works. Man designed the conduit, which is the radio transmitter that you tune in, then you can receive it. Human beings, we operate. Everything you say is out there in the universe. And if you're sensitive, you will catch that negative, or it could be positive energy, or negative energy, but you're going to receive it. And I'm a receiver, right? Hence why I'm very sensitive. Hence why I was feeling really weak. Because all these negative energies was like coming to me, what people are saying. And I had to fight. That's why I fell ill just before the fight. I fell ill. I was fighting emotion. I was fighting off these negative energies. And the rest is history. I think you all saw what happened. And again, they still want to plot for your downfall. Yeah, that's how I feel. But nevertheless, it fuels us. Because I get weak, then I get strong. And when I get strong, you better run. You better watch out.
That radio wave you talk about, it's funny because you're talking to Radio Rahim. I won't bore everybody with my story, but it's very similar to what you described in Africa. I heard voices coming out of the radio that I wanted to sound like they were commanding. And I had heard my own voice being recorded, which people do now because of in technology. But when I was a kid, to hear your own voice recorded
was strange, right?
Very strange.
Right.
And I heard my own self and I was mortified. I was like, that can't be what I sound like. I need to sound like these people.
Right.
And that's where the Radio Rahim began. I started to figure out a voice that sounded like the people on the radio.
Wow.
It's not from Do the Right Thing or any of that.
One day I'm going to do, let's say, a documentary on you.
Oh,
yeah. The man behind the voice.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you got it. We got it. We're coining that one. Damn, that's good, Don.
On Pug TV.
Pug TV.
The pugilist thing.
Well, those radio waves that you were receiving made you ill, but finally you got vindication. I think you sent them back to these people so strong that I find the pundit class has changed their tune. Simon Jordan's picking Daniel Dubois to win. Gareth A. Davies is not talking about.
I'm actually worried about the fact that the Gareth is siding with him because he's always bet against us. Yeah. So Gareth, where are you? Please don't back us. Back the opposition, please.
Change the tunes.
Yeah, please.
But I find that the fighters now, they're back in Usyk. They're like, I saw that Canelo Alvarez.
Yeah.
I think the number is 50,000. They put 50,000 on Usyk.
Is it 50 or 500, $500,000?
I didn't want to overstate it. It might be 500,000.
It's 500,000. It's what I saw.
Okay,
yeah,
then that's what it is.
He's got the money to do it. So he can look. From my understanding about gambling, he can afford to lose that. Hence why he's put that on there. Listen, that's what makes it really interesting. Yeah, they know something that we don't know. They know something that we don't know. So we know what we know, and people have got a very, how can I put it? Like you said, the fighters. You know how I can describe this thing? Usyk is just such a genius fighter, in my opinion. He's a generational great. Yes, he is. Majestic, everything you could think, immaculate. But what he has, this guy, he's put people under his spell. All the previous fighters he's fought, they're under his spell. But guess what? The Team Dubois, Triple D, were not under his spell. And Usyk knows this.
You think other fighters are just...
In awe. In awe. I appreciate, come on, I never boxed as a professional. What the guy has achieved would be like madness. I appreciate and accept. This man is a genius of a boxer, high IQ. But what's happened now? I study human psychology, and what I can notice is widespread. They're in Usyk's awe. They're in awe of the man, and they're under his spell. And we are not. I'm certainly not. My fighter, Daniel Dubois, certainly isn't under his spell.
People thought that the moment might be too big for Daniel when he fought Joshua. When they had that dust up in the face-off.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, which one is out of character? Has he gotten Joshua riled up? Has he poked the bear, if you will? And then when people saw the ring, before the fight even started, when the people saw the ring block, they're like, oh, this guy's not intimidated by the moment. You say that Usyk's got everybody under their spell. Dubois did not get the victory last time. Even with the low blow, he did get stopped. How are you certain, and can you make sure that Usyk hasn't put a spell on Daniel? How is he?
Well, I can tell you he hasn't, because all the engagements since then, all the public engagements suggest so. I've read what I've read. I've looked at body languages. I know he knows deep down. When everybody goes home, all the lights are turned off and you're alone, that's when reality, I'm talking, what I'm saying here, I'm a part of that. When everything, you've gone to all the public workouts, all the press conferences, you go home, you switch the light off, you're in bed. That's when it all comes to, the reality will start hitting you. All those people who are in awe of you, they're under your spell. They're not there in the bedroom with you. That's when reality. Every human being operates in the same principles.
Dubois at this stage has the power. We've seen that. And people say that Usyk was just going to outsmart him. He's such a technician. No one doubts that. But as a coach, where's the cross section between ring smarts, or I don't want to say ring generalship, you know, intelligence in the ring and the ability to just use your brawn and stick to the game plan?
Mm-hmm.
Where's that cross section? Does Daniel need to challenge Usyk's ring intelligence to win this fight?
No. That's where the coaching staff comes in to give him the template, show him the way. That's what I get paid for. And I'm not going to expand on that. We have it. We've studied this man. We've forensically searched this man. And we've made it our job to know everything about this man. He calls himself the cat. It's very hard to trap a domestic cat or a wild cat, to trap them, to catch them.
Yeah, they call it herding cats. You can't.
Yeah, but there is a way. So we have found that way, which people will tune in on Saturday and see how to catch a cat. Yeah, I like that. How to catch a cat. We found how to catch a cat because it can be done. Even in the jungle, they capture lions alive. Yeah, tigers, domestic cats. There's a way. You just got to find a way. We found a way.
I mean, even Usyk by Tyson Fury is called the rabbit. Now you call him the cat. Tyson wasn't able to catch the rabbit, but Daniel will catch this cat.
Yeah, because I mean, I didn't call Usyk. Usyk labels himself that. He calls himself the cat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he calls himself the cat. Like I said, we believe we know how we're going to trap and capture this cat alive.
I saw that Daniel is utilizing some more technology in his training. I'm not sure what I was looking at. So he was like hanging upside down on trapeze. Because I was there, like I say, at multiple gyms you've had. Before this one, the one before that. I think I maybe made it to Mill Hill. And every time I see you build a new gym and a new community of fighters and then take that gym, you evolve it. You have two rings here. Mm-hmm. I saw from 1 to 2, and then I saw other trainers come in under your kind of tutelage and watch you train and get better themselves. Then I was there when the pug barn was just an empty barn. And I watched it brick by brick, if you will, be built. I saw the structure of the ring come in, and then the gym evolve. And now it become a more technical place. I've seen him in the ice bath. And what I'd like to know really is, as the gym evolves, does your style of training also change? Because, there's this kind of core boxing grit trainer that you are, but then also being able to incorporate some technology and other type of conditioning coaches. What does that bring to this party and bring to Dubois that he hadn't had before?
Yeah, basically, it's about being an open-minded person and also being aware of your surroundings, being aware of what's going on in the open world. Things have evolved and you have to evolve with it, yeah? Provided they fit to aid you. I've recognized that at this level that Daniel's operating at, certain things I needed to bring in to aid him. What you're seeing, your observations are absolutely spot on. It's not a secret in the sense that we've got an oxygen tank that helps him for recovery. The ice bath is for recovery. So all the things that we bolted on, these are things to aid this fighter, especially in the way that he trains. To prolong his career, we've had to pay attention to nutrition. We've had to pay attention to his physiology, his physicality, because he's such a physical young man. And the type of grueling training he does, he needs experts in those fields. We've brought experts in their fields. Okay, I am the expert in my field, the boxing. Then you got all the doctor. There is now a doctor on site. Every training session, we have a doctor there to measure from heart rate to blood to you name it. So we're getting the best out of the athlete before he was achieving all this. Yeah, we didn't use this for the AJ campaign,
Right.
but we've recognized it's since he fell ill
In
for the
Saudi.
Parker in Saudi for the Parker fight.
Mm-hmm.
We looked at all areas to prevention is better than cure. To where why did he had something that was reoccurring? His swollen glands. It's happened twice since I've been training him, and it's cost him a fight against Parker. We had to pull out. So to prevent that from happening, we brought these experts and who was able to say this is probably why, because he trains very hard.
Mm-hmm.
And then he stretches, he goes home. He comes next day, gives it to you again, right? Without having these other things that's been introduced. So we've realized this camp, every day he's turning up to work, boxing, fresh, like he was previous day.
Wow.
Yeah, we've had to bring the
Wow.
science into it.
Now, for Usyk's sake, we've seen him do dexterity and juggling, and he uses these, mind exercises to stay sharp and be able to think. We call it ring IQ. I was saying intelligence, but inside the business, we call it ring IQ, right? So this is something that has been part of Usyk's makeup from the beginning. And the question that is being asked is whether or not Usyk is getting better, because Daniel, we all see, is improving fight to fight.
Mm-hmm.
As I mentioned, the training is becoming evolved fight to fight. You're adding things to it. Now he's fresh. You're taking away the more possibility that he gets ill. All of these things, there's no question that Daniel's evolving. He's in his mid-20s, of course, and he's got the right coach to make that journey one that is an improvement. So has Usyk peaked? Are we going to see a better Usyk than we saw in the first fight? Because we're certainly meant to see a better Daniel based on what we've seen thus far. Are you expecting a better Usyk, or are you expecting the Usyk that you saw in the first fight? Has he gotten better?
Of course he's gotten better. Look at his results that he's achieved since he fought Daniel. He's fought Fury twice, close fights. He's fought AJ twice, close fights. And you've only got to look at those results. Of course he's improving. That's why he's getting those results, We expect the best version of him to turn up on the 19th on Saturday. But in my opinion, my beliefs is that he needs to be. Yeah?
Yeah.
We want the best Usyk. No excuses. We want the best Usyk to turn up.
Is there any chance that 2 Joshua fights, 2 Fury fights, have put more wear on the tires?
We call it mileage, yeah.
Mileage, that's it, wear on the tires, yeah.
Yeah.
That, Daniel says it's his time. Is he catching Usyk at the right? That's not an excuse. It happens when it happens. Is he catching Usyk at the right time that way?
It's the right time for Daniel to fight Usyk, and it's the wrong time for Usyk to fight Daniel Dubois. In my opinion. It's only my opinion.
Stan has come out and talked about this heritage of their being a slave in their family tree, and him having visions of Daniel ascending to being a world title holder. When Daniel thinks of what his mission is and his time, and you're able to speak to him in a way that none of us are, what do you think his personal goals are? Where does his visualization come from? What is he imagining for himself?
Yeah, Daniel is on the beliefs, because he's very, very tight with his father, and damn right he should be. So it's been prophesized, it's been written, it's been raised that way, and when you've got that mentality, that's all he knows. He was born to do this. His dad had a premonition. His dad had a dream. His dad had all sorts of things that this young man is going to be a world champion. Look at that. He's currently, as we speak.
Yeah, this has been his focus his whole life.
Correct. And he's achieved that.
He's homeschooled.
Yeah.
They've had this belief. They knew what the goal was from the beginning.
Correct.
Yeah, go ahead.
And it's happened. It's not like, so it's that all those predictions and premonitions, the Father, it's all, as we speak, it has already happened. But we're going one further for him to become undisputed. Now, I don't know whether his dad dreamt that his son will become a world champion, then go on to get all the belts.
Yeah. Frank Warren mentioned that the homeschooling and the way that it's such a unique mentality that Daniels has, that, you know, I see him with his brother, I see him with his family, I see him with you and the training team, but it's seldom that you meet a guy at the level that Daniel is, at the age he's in, and what he's accomplished, that doesn't have an entourage, doesn't have a life outside of boxing and his goals, at least not that we can see.
Mm-hmm.
Is that an advantage, or does he need to release the valves every now and then? Do you like it the way it is?
Yeah, you know, he's a young man. He's 27 years old. Imagine when he pulls this off on Saturday. Okay, so he's done it. He's gone to the mountaintop. Yeah, and he'll go down in history. Yeah, and he's only 27 years old. He's got the rest of his life to have a very good life for himself and his family. He's going to have a family one day, I'm sure. All right. And, you know, make generational wealth and live happily ever after.
The whole of the United Kingdom will live happily ever after if he accomplishes this goal, because Usyk's been the British killer.
Well, yeah. Everything that has a beginning, this is actually from Daniel, has to have an end. Oof. Daniel he frequently says that everything that has a beginning has to have an end. Usyk, no matter what happens, I believe, I'm not God, I believe I know what's going to happen on Saturday. Yeah? Me personally, the man has already gone down in history on what he's achieved himself. Okay? And you're not gonna look at Usyk in a different light. If he were to lose on Saturday, which I believe that Daniel will be victorious. But I'm not going to look at Usyk because he's done it. He's done everything there is to do in boxing. He's trying to make more history. You know how it is.
Sure.
I used to do high jump in school. When you jump a certain height, you want to raise the bar. That's what he's doing at the moment. He's competing against himself.
What does it mean? Beyond having been a world champion, like, yes, he's attained that goal, Daniel Dubois, but he's got an opportunity to become undisputed.
Correct.
Not just undisputed, but the first undisputed champion of British heritage in the four-belt era.
Sure.
Not just the first British four-belt champion, but on British soil. Not just on British soil,
at
Tom,
Wembley Stadium.
but at Wembley Stadium, where he dethroned Anthony Joshua.
He's got all the hallmarks of being remembered as a great, or one of the greatest fighters to ever come out of the UK.
And you took that guy when he was at the bottom of his career, wasn't at the bottom of boxing, but as far as where he was on his journey, he needed a pickup. And now, from that moment to all of these things,
it's been written like that. Destiny. Destiny's been written like that.
This is the pinnacle for you as well.
Gosh, I mean, where do I start? Because this man always makes me cry. So I don't even want to go. Let's keep it around Daniel.
Okay.
Because if you start going to me deeper, that's when my emotional side comes in. Because, like I said, mine started when I entered the UK at the age of 14. And to be where I am in this sport today, it scares me to regress. It scares me to roll the clocks back, to think, because not yet. Let's go and get this victory on Saturday.
Let's go.
Then
get
let's
this
talk again.
Victory on Saturday.
Then we'll talk again.
I won't ask you any
let's
more
hold
questions.
it. Yeah.
I just want it to be said that journey from that spot. And again, I'm not. Daniel was a heavyweight in the mix, no question. It wasn't like he was a baby. You said you got a package that had been developed to a stage, but at the moment, he had all the doubts, and he's been an underdog ever since you picked him up. So it isn't like you got a finished product that people were believing in. You believed in it, and you made this product what it is. But your journey from your beginnings, from when you didn't even think that being a boxing coach was what was in the cards for you.
No.
And now you've brought, the fighter has to go in there and do the fight when the bell rings, but you put him in this position. It's not just training as a coach. It's mental, it's business. Which fight do we pick when? Who do we take? It's pulling him out of the Parker fight when he just couldn't go and taking the criticism, but knowing that wasn't the fight for your guy on the night.
No, when you're ill, you're ill.
Yeah, but you had to take flack for that. He had to take flack. You had to be.
And we all took, his father, myself, and Frank Warren. I have to commend him as a promoter. Yeah, we didn't put money first. Had we put money first, that young man would have got into that ring, not well, and fought.
And that's your money too. You don't get paid just because
no one gets paid.
Didn't fight. Exactly. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that all of these decisions that you made, everything that you put in it, you've gotten your fighter to this point. And yes, I know you expect to be successful on Saturday night, and we will see. But it needs to be said sometimes before that first bell rings that you've been successful already.
Oh, most
your
definitely.
Fighter is at the precipice. He's got to cross it. But it has to be said that this man has done something that is phenomenal. And that man is you. You've already done that. You're there. You're at the door. And that's what every fighter asks his trainer to do. Get me there, and I'll carry us through the threshold. So we'll see Saturday night if Daniel Dubois does that business. But you've done your job already. And that is something that we cannot deny.
Thank you, brother.
Radio Rahim. Maybe sometimes I make myself cry. With Don Charles.
God bless you, man.